at the weekend. On a Sunday, the whole family gathers and sits around the table after a meal, enjoying food and conversation.
It's so good to have lunch together with family. I look forward for it every Sunday. I love talking about the great books I read, and I also love listening to the adults talk about their favorite books too. We have an aunt who's a really great storyteller. She's our father's sister and has no children of her own. Once a fortnight, we all go and have Sunday lunch with Aunt Marie.
She and Uncle George live in a large house about 3 miles away. She doesn't just have books in her library or on her shelves, but all over her house. It is a special occasion every time we visit them.
It's always fun to see what new books she has added to her collection.
Children enjoy the time and listen to Mary read from all the collections.
We look forward to the wonderful stories Aunt Mary always shares with us.
I discovered my favorite writers from her. She read me my first Roald Dahl story. Remember James and the Giant Peach?
Oh yes, my favorite are the Amarachita that she has. I love looking at the pictures and seeing all the characters.
History is so much more fun in those books than in my textbook.
I always want to read stories of great heroes.
Yes, but you don't quite understand that even the simple fables convey some wonderful lessons. Remember the story of the lion and mouse? It really helped all of us understand friendship and courage.
Yes, even simple fables are wonderful for thinking how we should act.
Even when we read stories like Harry Potter or Percy Jackson, we need to learn the lessons of perseverance and courage.
Yes, I remember how Aunt Mary once told me the story of Markandeya, a little boy who knew that Lord Yama, the god of death, was coming to take him away. He loves Lord Shiva, and he knows that Lord Shiva will always protect him, so he prays to Shiva with sincerity. Thus, Lord Yama is defeated by Markandeya's love for Shiva. Aunt Mary told us that this is how we show we retain our faith in the divine.
The first time I read one of Aunt Marie's books, I was fascinated how my aunt showed me how each book allows us into a window into a new world. This is especially true of the special picture books she has. Not just the Amara Chitakata books, but the books like Ramayana, the Gita, and Shirdi Baba with beautiful illustrations. I love looking at these books. I feel like I can really enter into those stories.
One day, when I was visiting Aunt Marie and Uncle George, I went home with my cousins to be their guest for a while. My mother was very ill, and my father could not manage to take care of me, as well as my mother. I was 13 at that time.
I remember that. I also remember when you kept trying to get into the attic to look for Aunt Marie's books, even after she told you not to do that.
Yes, Giles, you were a wild boy at that time. I remember that day only too well.
He was always running, trying to do everything, which meant he was getting into trouble for not finishing his work or for being where he was not supposed to be.
You may think Giles wild, but I am quite looking forward to seeing what you like. I have met him a couple of times before. He seems okay to me, if a little noisy.
They all start going to Aunt Mary's home for lunch. After lunch, the kids are wandering around the house looking at all the lovely books. Joseph and Giles stand in front of the display shelf.